20 years ago, China didn't really have any relations in the Middle East. Now it's not only the largest trading partner of countries like Iran, it's the largest trading partner of countries like Saudi Arabia. It has deepening relationships throughout the Middle East. It is getting involved in technology and infrastructure and all kinds of things. Deeper ties to the Chinese present.
In the future, the Chinese presence will be a constant in the Middle East. Not only does China wish to expand in the Middle East, but also the regional powers. For India, this is a favorable situation because Washington and Beijing can make their moves carefully, while India can make swifter inroads. In the final episode of the series, we will look at some of the strategies created by India to balance Chinese presence in the Middle East. India is employing dual fronts to counterweight Beijing's presence in the Gulf: economic and strategic. While the two efforts are independent and run parallel to each other with different designs and ambits, they are not in opposition. However, there is a common factor in the two efforts: the India-US partnership. China has been playing out its cards very wisely in the region with economic strategies as the focal point. So how does India manage its strategic autonomy in the region? An article published by Middle East Institute answers the question. The article reads, China, for now, has managed to do this purely by leveraging its economic heft and regional states' interest in using Beijing as a counterbalance to the US. India will need to find other ways to strike a balance, specifically in its relations with Iran, which face scrutiny and pressure from US foreign policy, and the sanctions regime Washington has put in place. Iran was previously one of India's top 3 oil suppliers. But New Delhi halted energy imports from Tehran, both to comply with sanctions and in a show of intent to the US. This decision has come into question, especially after India picked up cheap Russian crude oil despite sanctions amid the war in Ukraine. Both the US and China can expect the Chinese presence in the Middle East to be constant in the future. It is important for India and China to create strong strategies that would allow every stakeholder in the region to coexist in the region in harmony. The Middle East Institute article mentions the following. China's presence in the Middle East will be a constant in the future, in no small part because of the designs of the regional powers themselves. While the plan may be to keep the US more engaged in the region, doing so may also provide a cushion for the likes of India to maintain a degree of balance, while slowly buying into the premise that countering Chinese influence in areas of interest like the Middle East will require robust collaboration to cover shortfalls in economic and diplomatic capacity. This is already visible as India and the US look beyond the Indo-Pacific and the Quad, comprising India, the US, Australia, and Japan, for economic cooperation. The Middle East may be the next focus. How did you find this information? Please mention this in the comments section. We would also like to know the kind of content you want to watch, and we will try to create it for you. For more news and updates, follow Airr News.